What is a seed and what determines a good seed? Now, to find out exactly what this is, I would like to welcome Lesiba Ledwaba from the Agricultural Research Council. Lesiba, thank you for joining us. What is a seed?
Thank you for the great question. A seed is an underdeveloped embryo with its excess food enclosed in a protective layer named a seed coat, and it serves as one of the primary inputs in agriculture.
What determines a good seed?
What determines a good seed, firstly, is high genetic purity. So that means it contains only what is intended and no contamination. Secondly, it has to have high germinability, meaning it has to have germination percentage between 90 and 100, and then it has to be uniform. So the seeds should be of the same size and shapes. And then lastly, it has to be disease and pest free. So that means the seed should not have diseases, or the coat should not be cracked or damaged by pests.
Now, I've often heard of seedborne pathogens. What are their impact on agriculture?
Well, for most, these seedborne pathogens are either externally or internally infections carried onto seeds. Now, these pathogens, there is the potential to cause diseases within seeds or within the plantlets that germinate from seeds, or rather the seedlings that germinate from these seeds. So their impact is quite huge, because once you've planted these seeds with diseased seeds, and then they germinate plantlets that are got disease from an early stages, that means you as a farmer, you'll have to now start your spraying programs as early as possible, and then that will cost you money, or rather your input will be more. So it will lead to higher economic losses in agriculture, of course.
And what causes the dispersals of seedborne diseases?
Well, for most, it has to be farmers. You know, as a farmer, when you harvest your seed, you tend to put some aside for yourself for next season. So if you harvested these diseased seeds, you store them. The next season, when you plant them, you'll start with diseased material. So that's the first problem. Then the second problem is that as farmers, we can trade seeds from one farmer to the other. You know, like I've got some seed of cocoa beans. What do you have on your side? We exchange that material, you know. Then there is also an issue of market trading, seed market trading, you know, the exports and importation as well, because there has to be legislations whereby seeds are being tested before they get into or outside of the country. So for interest's sake, before a seed, it can be marketed, it can be planted, or rather the trials can be carried out in more than 8 countries. So that should tell you that if that seed is being carried from one country to the other without being tested, it will lead to the introduction, or rather the dispersal of that pathogen in those foreign countries, of course.
So how can the dispersals be avoided?
Well, for most, it can be the testing of the seeds before they are being carried out to a foreign country. So before being taken out, and also when they get to that country, they has to be tested. So this shows the importance of seed testing, which is where the diagnostic services like your seed comes in, whereby we're testing the seeds for all these diseases, or rather the pathogens, being either viral, biological, or fungal, and also we test the damage of the nematodes that they can cause to your diseases, and also the pest, the seed pest, of course.
Lesiba, I think we all aspiring to a more natural way of living. Now, besides chemical seed treatments, which some of us don't like, what other alternative traditional methods are there for small-scale farmers to use?
Yes, that's a very important question, because not every farmer can afford these chemicals, you know, and then you get these seeds that are chemically treated being more expensive for these small-scale farmers. So you find traditional methods whereby our local farmers, they tend to use cow dung and also mixed with cow urine. So they kind of make a cow slung. So there are studies that have shown that is most effective in controlling some of the diseases. Then you also get some leaf extracts from plants such as neem, so which have also been employed by our small-scale farmers to treat the seed for different seed diseases and pest control. There's also red soil, for interest's sake, and also garlic, because it has such a foul smell, you know, to repel all these pests that may damage your seed, of course.
How can one ensure that he or she plants a pest and disease-free seed?
Well, like I've said, by just looking at the seed, you cannot tell whether it has a pest or a disease, And sometimes it's quite a mission to see whether your seed code is cracked or something like that. So there are diagnostics platforms that are there, whereby one can take the seed for seed testing. Like I've mentioned, your seed is one of those diagnostic packages whereby we test your seed, we screen it throughout for your plant pathogens, and also we test for seed nematodes and the seed pests that may infect or rather damage your seeds.
So what does one need to test for pests and diseases on their seed?
So what one needs, it's just a matter of submitting the seeds to a seed company that can offer those diagnostic services, or also the ARC also offers that with a package called Your Seed. Is a diagnostic package, so we can also assist with the testing of the seeds for farmers, and then this ensures that your primary input in agriculture is of higher quality, and then it will in return give you great plantation. You'll have healthy plants growing, and then you'll ensure that you harvest as much yield as possible.
Well, that's all about seeds and ensuring that you have healthy seeds on your farm. Lesiba, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Lesiba Ledwaba, and he's from the ARC, giving us good information on seed and seed quality today.